This is my favorite Thomas fan-made project. Yes, I like this more than Tobias and the Arcane Merchant. I know, that's quite a hot take to start the video, but if you are willing to sit through this review for a couple of minutes and learn why, then thank you. Day of the Diesel's rewrite by Nino Productions was released on August 3rd, 2024, and that was truly a special day for me. This was my most anticipated Thomas fan project, and well, it did not disappoint. On July 27th, 2024, I made a reaction to the second trailer of Day of the Diesel's rewrite because I was just that hyped for it. I really was expecting a lot from this because any Thomas fan production that involves like rewriting something that is very subpar and honestly kind of mid, I think I'm always excited for these because you can see like a new perspective of it and really flesh out a story that was admittedly wasted. I know this isn't the most flawless fan production ever, because it certainly isn't. There are definitely a couple of minor issues I can point out here and there, but the amount of joy and excitement it brings me every time I watch it is why it is my favorite. I'm going to go through two aspects of this production I love and two aspects of this production I think needed some improvement. And also, Nino, if you're watching this, please don't take any of this criticism as, like, knock against you, because this is truly incredible, and I really want to preface that. Alright, let's get into it. I'm gonna be blunt here. Diesel 10 in the original Day of the Diesels movie sucks. He is so unintimidating and just, frankly, a bumbling idiot. In Magic Railroad, Diesel 10 is shown to be a threatening and cunning antagonist who literally sends death threats and nearly kills Mr. Conductor. That is a threatening villain. In Day of the Diesels, however, they throw pretty much all of his threatening and intimidating sides away just so he can, quote-unquote, manipulate Percy into taking over the Steamworks, which is a dumb plan. What are you even trying to do at the Steamworks? Destroy it? Do you want the Diesel Works to get used more? Like, I don't get your motivation here. You are dumb. What do you even need Percy for? To unlock the door? Because clearly you could just storm in there just fine. Which is why I am so thankful that Nino made him his intimidating, cunning self again. After so many years of just Diesel 10 being such a softie, it is so nice seeing him finally be intimidating and threatening for once. It rivals Magic Railroad, and I think his voice actor, Silverband, does a great performance as him. Not to mention, his plan actually makes sense. He wants to scrap all the Steamies just so Diesels can rule the island of Sodor, which I think is just so much better, and the means he goes about doing it is also better. He ends up kidnapping engines and just keeping them at the Diesel Works, ready for all of them to be scrapped. This might be Diesel 10 at his best, I'd argue, and that is a lot to commend here for a fan project. Norman was far and away my favorite part about this rewrite. He was simply awesome. For being such a nothing, nobody character in the show, Norman gets fleshed out here, and I really commend Nino for that. He gets a full backstory and everything. At the start of the movie, Norman is quite gruff, grouchy, and pessimistic. But over the course of it, he learns to be, well, nicer. And none of that is shown better than through his dynamic with Dennis. I like how Norman is rude and pessimistic to Dennis at the start. Dennis used to be a lazy engine, and since Norman being his brother, usually had to clean up his messes and, well, fix his mistakes. So it would make sense for why he is so rude to him in the present day. Dennis tries to prove to him that he's not lazy, but Norman doesn't buy it because he just thinks Dennis is just trying to be his friend again, switching sides just so he can appear on Norman's good side. Later on in the movie, when he's pretty much put in Dennis's position and has to get on Thomas's good side, over the course of it, he really tries to sympathize with Dennis and realizes that he shouldn't have been so harsh on him to begin with. And in the final climax, they work together with Thomas to stop Diesel 10. It is so poetic. Norman and Dennis on the same side once again. This also gives Thomas such a great arc too, where he learns to listen to Norman and listen to the other Diesels who worked for Diesel 10. Despite them working for an evil Diesel, they aren't so evil after all. This is payoff from an earlier scene where Thomas lashed out at Paxton and Sydney for helping Diesel 10, and so he decides to rush off and go get his steamy friends. This, of course, backfires and leads to Thomas and all his friends getting trapped at the Diesel Works within the clutches of Diesel 10. Then, in the end, Norman ends up saving Thomas. Every aspect about Norman in this production is perfect. I would not change one thing about it. It is brilliant. His dynamic with pretty much everyone is so compelling, and he is such a likable and rootable character, even when he's the antagonist. I know I'm going to sound a little bit hypocritical in this section, because I know I'm not like a pro editor or anything, and I'm not meant to diss on him and say he's horrible at editing, because he isn't, but there are a few editing mistakes that I think I just cannot go unnoticed. The scene where Thomas meets Paxton, Norman, and Sydney at the docks is a prime example of this. The clip here just fades and then it cuts back without any sound effects, and it is so jarring. Then there's this mistake here, which, really is an eyesore. This is just a minor thing I've noticed when I rewatch this movie from time to time, and it does get more evident the more times you watch, but I can look past that because the story is so well written. Well, except this part. Of everything in this movie, I think this is the aspect that has aged the worst for me. The climax. This just feels so random and out of nowhere, and kind of unsatisfying. So the hero's whole plan is to get Diesel 10 in the smelters, and then do what? Push him in the pit? Because they clearly just get him back up, and then he instantly attacks them. So, really, what were you going to do with him here? Do the same thing you just did? Because that seemed rather unplanned. Or you just plan... It's so confusing. Also, what do D261 and D199 do throughout the whole film? Genuinely, what is their purpose to Diesel 10's plan? I thought they would be involved in the climax. But nope, they just kind of stand around there. I believe D261 is the one that pushed the oil tankers into Thomas and Rosie when they were trying to break everyone out of the Diesel Works. But I think that's his only contribution. How I would have done the climax is have Diesel 10, D199, and D261 escape the Diesel Works, and then Thomas, Norman, and Dennis all go after them, and then Dennis sets a trap for all three of them to crash into each other, similar to how Gordon, Henry, and James crashed into each other in the beginning of the movie. It would bring everything full circle and give them a actual functional purpose in the story and a memorable scene. But alas, I guess the climax we got is fine enough. I really enjoy the whole scene in the smelters. That is beautifully well shot, and Norman's character development is on full display here as he stands up to Diesel 10 to save Thomas. And Dennis even helps him out too, showing everyone's character growth. I like that sequence. I just don't like the sequence after it. It is just that 1 or 2 minute long sequence that I have an issue with. Because everything else in this film is immaculate. I love every other scene in this. Around the time this movie came out, I was going through a bit of a rough patch in my life. I really thought there was going to be no light at the end of the tunnel and nothing really to look forward to because school was starting in a month. I was just really not looking forward to it. It was my first year of high school I was going into. And yeah, I just did not think I would last. But thanks to this movie, I had something to look forward to. And I knew right after I was finished with this, I wanted to make a review of this to basically, 1, give me something to look forward to for the rest of the summer, and 2, as a love letter through Nino Productions for how much heart and soul he put into this film. He did not have to go this hard, but he did, and I cannot thank him enough. He really made me so excited, and now I see this as my comfort movie. It's what I watch when I want to feel happy, when I want to feel changed. It is absolutely incredible. And, well, despite it not being perfect, it will be my favorite fan film in my eyes because the impact it left on me. It really made me happier, more well-adjusted as a person. I saw a lot of myself in Norman at the time. I was quite grouchy and a little bit pessimistic, but with this movie, I learned to not be that. I learned to have a more positive outlook on life and not let myself hold as many grudges. It improved myself for the better. I'm a much better person now. And while I did hit another rough patch through going through this video, I always learned that I can get through these with just some thought and enough dedication. So, again, I cannot thank you enough, Nino Productions. You have seriously changed my life with this film, and I hope you know that. And I'm going to let the rest of the music play in tribute to you. Well, if it wasn't obvious enough, I recommend you guys to watch this movie. I hope everyone else finds this movie just as good as I do. And if you don't, well, I hope we can all agree on this. It's way better than the original film. This video took a little while to make. I think I spent 3 weeks on this. Well, technically 2, because I was on vacation one of those weeks, to edit and put this together. But this was a ton of fun to make. While I don't want to make a lot of review content on official material, really only fan material, and I want to put my own original content on this channel, then I might not do these videos that often, but if you enjoy them and want to see more of them, maybe I'll do one in the near future. Who knows? But I do hope this. Any content I make on this channel, I hope it puts a smile on your face, because your enjoyment matters most to me. And please, if you have any feedback to how to improve these videos, then sound off in the comments below. Your support means the world to me. If you've made it this far, then thank you. It means a lot to me. This was my passion project for over half a year now, and I am so glad to have this out, and I am glad you enjoyed it. Stay safe out there and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. But wait, hold your horses. I have one more thing to show you all. It's a special music video for this film. And, well, I hope you all enjoy. And see you all next time. Enjoy.